Okay, Paul is giving us the thumbs up. Seems like we're on and ready to go. I'm really grateful to have my tech wizard with me, and I'm really grateful for you all that you came out today. What an exciting start! Let's let's take a moment and just allow ourselves to arrive, whatever that means for you. Let's arrive in this moment, in this space, wherever you are, here in the room with us or at home in front of the screen. Let's allow ourselves to drop into this moment. Maybe if you're seated, you can feel your buttocks against the seat, maybe your back. Maybe you can feel your breath. Maybe you're aware of your energy. Maybe you're aware of your emotions. Let's open our eyes and take a look around. Take a look at the people here in the space. And if you're at home, you can look at the couple people that you can see in the camera, but you can also step into the imaginal realm of being in the space with us and imagining a circle of people. And let's have a word for us, and let's have a welcome arise in us. Here's a welcome. I'm bringing forth a welcome. Sense for a moment what welcome does with you. What does welcome do as we're extending it out? Welcome. I already see that happening with some. Let's see if we can go into a gesture of welcome. What gesture comes forward as you're holding welcome? If it feels good, just go into that shape of welcome. And notice yet again what welcome does to you. The shape of welcome. And I kind of feel like I want to take the welcome shape to a stand. You may absolutely stay seated if that feels better to you, or you can join me standing. And let's spread the feeling of welcome. Let's see what would welcome be if I had welcoming feet. And you can move, you can just stand and sense. What are my welcoming feet? What are my welcoming calves and shins and knees? Welcoming thighs? Welcoming buttocks? Sexual organs, hip bones. Welcoming belly. If we imagine we're part of a culture where we welcome each other with the belly, what would that be like? Welcoming back. Welcoming arms and hands and fingers. Welcoming shoulders, welcoming neck and throat, welcoming hair, how fun is that? Welcoming forehead, eyes, nose, mouth, welcoming ears, welcoming expression. Sense one more time into your body-mind system and just notice how welcome feels right now. And as we're standing here in the circle with space between us, or hands already almost stretched out as if we're holding someone's hand, let's step into the imaginal realm of being all together. Let's hold each other's hand. Let's fill those spaces with the people online. Let's fill those spaces with people that we wished could be here right now. Let's fill those spaces with spirit guides if we feel like doing that. And let's hold hand in this big circle, welcoming this expanded circle. Now that we've welcomed each other, how would it feel to welcome myself? How can I give myself a really warm welcome? All of me, everything that I've brought into this space today, all the emotions, all the tightness, the tiredness, the excitement. Can I welcome that all? And how does my system want to respond to that? Do I want to give myself a hug? Do I want to touch my body, my physical expression lovingly? Just embracing ourselves in a warm welcome. So we're welcoming ourselves, welcoming each other. Let's just take a short further moment to just dwell in a feeling of unconditional welcome. All are welcome. Everything is welcome. Wow, thank you for sharing this moment with me. This is our first session of Cosmic Wholeness, and I'm going to share a little bit with you, and I invite you to just keep the feeling that you've just experienced, if you like. Keep moving, keep embracing yourself, take a seat if that is what you need. Just check in and let it rise. What do you need right now? Just so you feel most comfortable, most ready to be here and share. I wanted to share with you a little bit about last night. Last night I woke up and I felt a lot of anxiety. And I felt a lot of stress and tension. It was like one of those moments where you wake up and you're just like, I will never ever fall asleep again because woo, that is too much. And after talking with so many people this past week and with friends back home in Germany, I feel that this is happening to a lot of people right now. Something really beautiful happened to me last night. Just moments after that realization of like, whoa, this is what's going on for me, there was an almost cellular memory of an experience coming that I had experienced or found or stumbled into just a week before while playing with the patterns of nature. And that was a feeling of being outside of my physical small self, but inside of it and composed of timeless fragments, atoms, Sahara sand, like all the things that were created from the Big Bang to the creation of the world through evolution and everything inside of me is a part of that, and there is a force that holds those atoms and fragments and substances together and creates Micha, right? And I was able to be with that force, which then, of course, happens to be also in you and in the floor and in the trees. And so last night, as I woke up with that stress and tension, suddenly there was that recognition, like, oh, there's that connection. And I breathed into it, and lo and behold, a minute later, I was back asleep. And I was like, whoa, that was pretty cool. And so the next morning, I got up and watched myself a little bit how I'm engaging with the morning, and I discovered that so much that I'm doing is influenced by the patterns that I had the pleasure and joy to explore these past years. I went into the bathroom and have like a little awakening routine, which I think I created when I was playing with the pattern of vibration. This morning was a lot of vibration and fluidity. It seems like my system needed that. I went into the kitchen and I generally drink a glass of hot water, and I noticed that I was very instinctively trusting my inner compass to choose what the water needed today to nourish me. And this morning it was rose honey, which I had created from one of my plant allies this past summer, all things that had sprung from explorations with the patterns. And then I sat and lingered in some sort of a threshold, one of the universal patterns, before finding myself on the floor, connecting with the elements, until I was ready to reach out into the world, be star, be line and trajectory and these things. So watching myself, I just discovered how much this work has influenced myself. And that's why I'm so excited that, well, the universal patterns apparently conspire to say, time for you to share this. And that is a huge stretch. And so I thank you all for being here and being my stretchers. And they work for me. I found myself in so much peace this morning and in an island of connection and kinship. And so my wish is that this can potentially be something for you too, that can be an island and something where our experience just gets so infinitely richer. I will guide us through all the patterns. So we're working with a system of patterns, and they will come around and around again. Today we'll visit with all of them, likely next session as well, and then we'll start visiting with individual patterns a little bit more in depth, with an open-ended, playful inquiry what they can teach us, how can we be enriched, how can we open our eyes, how like for me it felt in the big picture like over the years, the patterns took me out of my small self into a bigger frame, and life became richer and more colorful and more connected. So, yeah, I will guide us through all the patterns today, and I thought a good way to do that would be to show you my daily practice. I've been dancing the patterns of nature almost every single day for at least 3 years now. And if you watch the introduction video, I said this is not a dance class. It still is not a dance class. You're absolutely invited to dance, but you're absolutely also not required to. So I want to give us a few things on the way before we do that. And the first one is, make this your own thing. Let arise how the patterns want to be with you today, or how you want to be with those ideas. If that means that you mostly want to sit with your eyes closed and have that be a meditation, wonderful. Thanks for listening to yourself. If that means that you want to stand and just be in the sphere of gestures or light sways, wow, thank you for engaging with the patterns in that way. If that means that you want to go full out, that is also absolutely great. So please make that your own thing, and please allow everyone to have this be their own thing. Let's trust our inner wisdom that yeah, the right thing will come forward. I personally think I like the dancing or the movement, because it seems for me that it brings me into the present. It's a little bit less likely for me to think far in the future or be stuck in the past. It's more easy for me to be present as I'm moving, but because that is true for me, that mustn't be true for you. And the other thing that I feel is that the movement of some of these ideas almost gives me like an embodied knowing. It takes me out of my cognitive figuring this out mode. And that is the second thing that I want to send on the way with us. And that is, let's see if we can engage with this material, not trying to figure this out. If I'm throwing my personal morning practice at you, which has evolved over the course of years, it will be fast, it will be a lot, and it will partially maybe seem random to you because it's sprung out of my meaning making as I've engaged with these patterns. Whew. Okay. I need a short moment. Thank you. As I said, this is a new experience for me, particularly with cameras. Yeah, so this will be this might feel like a lot. And for that reason, I invite us to go into something that I would call more the receptive mode. And we can in the end practice that together. So if we imagine, for example, we just took one of our vacuums apart because one of the filters needs cleaning, and here are the parts, and we need to put it all back together. You can do that with me if you want to. And you feel like everything is like in the front of me. There's like a figuring it out, a getting it right. And it's wonderful how our system is supporting us in that, right? Or if I'm in the kitchen and I'm creating this special recipe and I want to get the measurements right, I am so wonderfully supported in that, and I will likely get it right. Now let's compare that feeling of in the front and doing and figuring it out. Let's compare that with being more in our backside. If you like, you can put like a hand on the back of your head or on your back. And just feel into that space that sometimes we deliciously experience when we get a back massage, or as we're leaning into our favorite lounger or laying down on the bed. Nothing to do but to receive. And for today, we'll just call it our receiving mode. And my invitation is to go into that. You don't have to remember anything. You don't have to figure this out. But something might stick with you. Thank you. Another thing. Let's try to find a sort of inside imagination, or stepping into the imaginal realm. Let's do a comparison too. If I say, think about your belly, or my imagination at least, I have like a image of a belly floating somewhere there in front of me. It's something that is kind of outside of me. Now, in comparison, if I am in my belly, be in your belly, or be your belly, it's a very different experience for me, a very different energy. I could dance from my belly. Or think of a squirrel. Oh, there you are, little guy, and be squirrel. be squirrel energy. What is squirrel in my nervous system? What is squirrel in my blood or in my cells? So we're stepping into a more childlike, imaginal realm where these things are true, because maybe they are. So let's step back into the idea of the welcome. Let's feel that. Paul will turn on some music for us in a moment. Last thing that I want to give us on our way through the patterns is just an invitation to embrace and welcome anything and everything that comes up for you. If that means that there's an uncomfortable emotion, maybe there's some impatience, or there's sadness coming up, or anger, or whatever you experience, I invite you to embrace that. I invite you to get curious about it. If you want to, you may talk with that feeling. If you want to, you may step out of the movement or meditation or whatever, however you're engaging, and just sit down and be with that part that came forward. Finding curiosity and finding some gratefulness that this part of you showed itself in the context of the patterns. All right, without further ado, we're going through all the patterns, and I will pretty much unfiltered throw out some of the thoughts that flow through me as I'm dancing patterns of nature. And again, dance, move, sit, meditate. Here they are. Okay. One of the first things, our first pattern is vibration. And it's the pattern before any physicality. One of my favorite movements just to get started oftentimes is the shape of the electromagnetic field. It's a universal shape. Its shape sends energy through my central channel up, out through the outside. If you like, you can try it on. And also in the other direction, energy rising up through the outside, coming in through the inside. This is the electromagnetic field of my body, the electromagnetic field of the earth, the electromagnetic field of any living thing, of every cell. Wow, what if we're all one? Vibration. I know that I come from a place of love and non-physicality, from a place of spirit. And I invite these qualities to flow through me. Spirit, energy, connecting with the earth, with physical, creating a channel between physical and non-physical. Awakening all my energy channels, energy centers. Also enjoy embracing the qualities of the self in motion. I am creativity. I am courage. I am calmness. I am curiosity. Second pattern, elemental layers. I am air. The air inside of me communes and recognizes the air surrounding me. Fire. I am fire. The heat created by all my systems, by my motion. communes with the heat of the earth core, communes with the sun. I am water. The waterways inside of me resonate with the waters of the earth. I am space. Space filled with potential. Space filled with creative energy. All these elements are present to the deepest levels of me, in my bone marrow, feeling all the aliveness and elements resonate, vibrate in my bone marrow, in my skeleton, in my ligaments, in my musculature, in my organs, in my juicy, fatty layers, all the elements in my skin. I am on solid earth, in the layer of atmosphere. I am in the earth, of the earth. The question that layers asks me, and my system answers, what if I am okay just where I am right now? Would it be okay to embrace myself where I am in my place of understanding right now, trusting that everything is a process? Fluidity. Stepping into my fluid self. Embracing flexibility and authenticity. Embracing that I get to have likes. I like this. I like that. Wow. And I like that. And I don't like that. And that is okay too. And I like that. What if it was okay for me to like what I like? What if it wasn't just okay? What if my value system was something I could trust? Trusting my yes, trusting my no. Fluidity in form also invites to determine what I allow in and what I leave outside. What do I invite in? What do I want to leave outside? Line and trajectory. Pattern that allows not just me to have my value system, but allows everyone to have theirs too. Different preferences. And we all navigate beautifully around each other, creating a co-creative dance. What if I allowed myself to trust the flow, the trajectory of life? What if I trusted that all I needed was to find my alignment, and life moved me where I needed to be? What What if I got to reach out? Big, small. What if I was okay? Just as I am. In the world as it is. Pause and threshold. What if I allowed myself to slow down? What if I allowed myself to go at a pace that is a bit more nourishing to me? What if I allowed myself to enjoy more? To savor the moment a little bit more? What if I allowed myself to rest, recuperate, trusting that my system will restore me to balance if I just give the space for it? Resting, pausing, until my energy is built up so that I'm ready to emerge again, emerge back into the world, into our next pattern of spiral, also associated with the heart. Spiral in all of my muscles. Spiral, the big activator, the big amplifier. What do I want to amplify today? What do I want to give my attention to and let it spiral bigger, bigger? What do I want to bring in and integrate and deepen inside of me? What would it mean to be in my heart, to live from the heart, to send my heart energy into my home, into my work, into my relationships? How would that feel? And as I am in my heart energy, can I start to embrace it all? Sphere. Pattern of embracing all sides of it. Can I hold the darkness and the light? Can I hold the heavy and the light? It's a beautiful pattern to connect with our oftentimes neglected backside. Then how would it feel like to be in my full expansion, in my full self, but in my sphere, in my personal sphere? The sphere that makes me invisible to the world around me, because that's what I need right now, without diminishing myself. And then let's try on. What does it feel to be in my public sphere? The sphere where I'm in the world with others. And how does the sphere feel that scrapes on the fabric of the universe? How does my sphere of change power feel? From sphere to star and throat. Now that we know what we like, that we get to be ourselves. Star. Can I scream? Can I be loud? Can I allow myself to be out? Can I allow myself to express? To create? How? You feel like screaming into the universe, here I am. Home. This is star. Let's come up to wave. For a moment, if it feels good, be seaweed. Allow yourself to just drift on the waves of life, the ups and downs, and the change. Being okay with the ups and downs, floating along. Sometimes the waves might be wilder and we're riding the waves, embracing them. And we have some beautiful allies along, also waves. Waves of light. Open my eyes and I take in. I really allow myself to open my eyes and to take in beauty and let that beauty flow through me and nourish me top to bottom. Sound waves. What does it feel like to really open up to the nourishment of sound? Where can I send that to in my body? Opening up my other senses. Gratitude, my sense of smell. That is available to me. Opening up to my sense of taste. To all the nourishment that life has to offer to us. Coming up. One of our next big waves, we fly up into suspension. Being suspended. What would it feel like if I trusted that I was supported? Can I feel that support? Can I feel that I get to jump and I would be carried? It's also the pattern where I invite my spirit guides in, or invite my little sister in to dance with me, to be with me. This is the pattern of mystery. This is the pattern of opening to the mystery, to the unknown. Finally, we're floating back into vibration and dissipation, returning to the non-physical, being the out breath. Let's just take a moment to linger. Feeling into ourselves at the end of this journey. And notice if there's maybe one or two words that arise for you that describe to you or express where you're at right now. And if it does, you may feel free to share it. Say that again. Home. Trust. No. Alive. Adventure. Beautiful. I will see if I can get a graphic of those patterns, because I think it might be fun for you to look at them, and I will add that to the newsletter. For anyone watching that on the video, I might also put a link below the video so you can see all those patterns in order. If you don't get the newsletter, I invite you to subscribe to it because it'll keep us all up to date on the classes. You can just do that from the website. I also invite you to join our WhatsApp group. Whoever I easily could find, I already added to it, but shoot me a message. If you want to be added to the WhatsApp group, that's an opportunity for us to stay in touch and also just share additional photos, inspiration, reflections as we're diving into some of these patterns. If you're watching online and you want to support the channel, a like is wonderful. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you will be kept in the loop. And if you want to share your word or words below in a comment, I appreciate that too. Would love to read from you. And yeah, so at least until further notice, this will happen twice a week. Wednesdays is a little bit shorter, just like a midweek pick me up. Hopefully, will feel similarly nourishing to everyone. And yeah, next time we'll still go through all the patterns a bit differently, and then we'll start diving into vibration a bit deeper, and then continuing the journey over the course of the year into the other patterns. And well, thank you so much for being here and kicking off this adventure together. Yay. Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Good question. Um, so so the patterns are universal patterns. So they're not invented in that sense. What Babette did, my mentor from Wisconsin, is basically pick some of these patterns and put them into an order that made sense for her. And we've been exploring these patterns in that order. In that order, we associate them also with certain parts of the body. So good chance that after we had a first exposure of those patterns in a more general sense, that we will go a little bit into, because it's a fun experience too, into a sort of felt anatomy part where they are associated with parts of our body. And in that sense, as we're going through the patterns of nature, we also have a journey that goes through our entire body. And that is a beautiful exploration. So as they're coming around and around again, there's just it's a beautiful structure for a continued deepening of an understanding and the work with them. We might go combine evolution with the patterns. We might combine embryology with those patterns and just see how like there are so many things that we are a part of. We are a part of of evolution. We all were embryos at one moment, and there's something very rich about combining the patterns with some of these things that are so deeply part of our essence.